All right, welcome back. Price is King. Let's get started. We're going to talk about what's coming up this week, what we did this past week, and I'll share a couple of stock updates as well, like we've been doing the past couple of weeks. So let's get into it. As you can see, this is my day, trading setup. I got the 50-day moving averages, I got the RAM indicator, I got levels, and I got multiple time charts. I got the day, I got the week, I got the 15 minutes, the hour, the 30 minutes, the 5 minutes. I kind of look at the overall holistic picture, and then I day trade on the 1 minute chart, which sometimes I change to 2 minutes, but 1 minute is kind of the de facto that I trade on a daily basis. With that said, let's get started. Make sure before you do anything, like and subscribe. So what do we got here on the Dow? Let's take a look. This past week was an up week. We had a lot of things going on. I mean, earnings came in. You saw what happened with earnings with various different stocks. Some of them came out really bad. Some of them came out good. All of them, made a difference. And we had some also, Fed talking points that kind of drove the market. And so with that said, let's dive into the Dow. What really happened with the Dow? So this week, a lot of the things I think I mentioned over here, that as long as it stays above the mid band, it's going to continue right its ways up. Now what do we have here on the RAM indicator? This week I put the RAM indicator up, and it's actually looking like it's going to cross over the RAM indicator, and we're going to try to break over this resistance mark right here, and that's what's exactly going to happen. With that said, let me actually add the 50-day and the 200-day moving averages. Actually, not the ribbon. I don't need the ribbon. I'm going to add the exponential moving averages, and just so you know, like, we want to know exactly where it is, where we are with this 50-day as well as the 200-day moving average, right? So 50-day, I'm going to make it green because it moves fast. We'll add some dots to it so we can identify it. Make the value maybe 2, and then the same thing with the 200-day. But the only difference with the 200, what I want to do is I'm going to take the 200 and I'm going to make it a color that's dull because it's slow, and maybe the mustard looking color is probably the better idea. So what we do is I add this, make this a little bit thicker so you could see it, and there you go. Actually, let me change my RAM indicator. Hold on. Okay, so I changed the RAM indicator as well. Sorry, I had to pause it. A lot of background noise. Anyways, so here we go. We had these lower highs, right? Now it's trying to break above this previous lower high compared to this, right? So it's going to try to compete to this next gravitational point. Okay, so keep in mind that it is on its trajectory upwards. We do have the MACD pointing upwards. We have the green bars. We got the RSI pointing upwards, right? So all of this indicates that we're going to continue to move up. There will be some profit taking. Be mindful of that. Okay, there are going to be people taking profits, so you may see a couple of downward pressure points, but that could be just buying opportunities. So keep that in mind. So when you're actually looking to buy something, that is going to be the area where you want to buy. Sorry, let me zoom back in. And so here we are. If you look at the 50-day and the 200-day, remember I talked about them crossing, and we don't know what's going to happen. So let's take a look at and see what's driving this, right? We want to know, is it going to go ahead and cross or become a death cross, right? It seems like it is, right? So you see the 50-day has been below, but that happened a couple of days ago. Now we're looking at it moving upwards, right? When it moves upwards, it's going to change the trajectory. And so remember I said, be mindful of these little small areas where it tries to cross. We want to look at it in such a way that it's going to expand, and when it expands, there's going to be good movement towards the upside. Okay, so that's what's happening on the YM. So pressure is towards the upside. It's going to try to break this next high right here. which is the 34,286-ish. Okay, that's the number. It's above the RAM indicator, it's above the 50-day, it's above the 200-day moving average, as well as it's above the mid band. If anything, if it comes down, it may come down to this area, and then it's going to continue to drive itself up and gravitates towards the next high. And if this breaks, then we're looking at the next leg up, which is around 700. Okay, so that's the Dow. Let's talk about the ES. What's going on the ES? On the ES, we have a lot going on here. Same kind of scenarios, right? We had these lower highs that were formed before. Now, if we zoom in, you'll notice. Oops, I zoomed in too much. Okay. If you look at it and you see, all right, so the next gravitational point is right here, which is the 44.28. Okay, that's where it's going to go towards. That's the next goal for this particular instrument, right? For the ES, the S&P 500. What happened, right? It crossed over the mid band. It's going to continue riding that wave up. You got the 50-day moving average. You got the 200-day down here. So it crossed the RAM indicator as well. So now it's going to gravitate towards the upper mid band, upper band on the Bollinger. And while it's doing that, it's going to try to break this high, the previous high. Okay, and that's at the 44.30-ish area. Okay, so it's going to gravitate towards that. We got the MACD going up. We got the RSI pointing up, green bars. It looking like, you know, there's going to be a few days, maybe a downward pressure and profit taking because of all these green candles. When you have those green candles, that many green candles, there is going to be some profit taking. You see these green candles go up, profit taking, and then go up. So that's what end up happening. Okay, so when you have this downward pressure, there's going to be some profit taking and then downward continue, right? So as long as this breaks, it's going to go up. If it doesn't break and it holds it in, then we're looking at a more pressure downwards, right? So that's what's going on in the ES. Let's look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ, we got a similar situation again. You know, market just kind of took a tear and went up straight, right? It just continued to go up. I even, you know, mentioned that this is the cross that we're looking at. We look at this cross. You got the green bar. It's going up, right? Mid band, 50-day. RAM indicator. You know, that 200-day held it in beautifully, right? Next going upward momentum is going to be the 15,468. So another 300 and change points. It's going to go up. But before it does that, right, there's going to be some profit taking people. Right? There may be a leg down before it goes up. So keep in mind, it's going to try to gravitate there, then it's going to gravitate towards the 50 and then possibly the upper band. We got the MACD pointing upwards, trying to go towards the zero line. You got the green bar, and then you got the RSI pointing upwards. NQ, same thing. All three of these are pointing at an upward pressure. So as long as this area remains to be held, right? So you want to see if this holds. If it holds, then the bears can bring it down. Okay, and that's, you just have to be mindful of these lower highs. Okay, lower high, possibly another lower high, and you know, it could be profit taking and then just another leg up. When that happens, that profit taking happens, you want to be mindful of where it stops. If it stops in this area, great. You know, that's a good sign that means it's going to go up, right? If it doesn't stop in this area and continues downward pressure, then we're looking at much steeper decline. So that's what's going on. Okay, let's look at oil. All right, same thing in oil that we talked about the other day. What is happening on oil? Oil. It's going down. Okay. The 50-day retracement is kind of the area where it's trying to hold it in. Okay, you got this 333 areas where it's trying to hold it in, just like it did chart before. Now, what's going to happen? I mean, is the you got the 200-day here. You got a pressure building up here. You got a good pressure building up that's continuing downwards. This RSI is pointing downwards. You got lower highs on the RSI. This is an area that you want to be careful and watch and see if it breaks. If it breaks, this is going to break. The 50 is going to break. And so where we at? 80. Okay, so remember, this was the area that we were targeting and never made it that far. And so the 38.2 kind of on the upside put out some retracements. I'm sorry, resistance. And on the bottom, you got the 50% and the lower Bollinger Band that's holding it up. So we're going to try to have to break one of these two. Right now, there's a lot of pressure going downwards, right? And when that happens, this is actually a great area to buy. You want to be able to, watch this area, which is the next level support down. If you're going to add to a position, then we probably add a long position in this area and then add it over here. And the reason why I say is this, because this may be people, trying to get out of their shorts, and also, the uncertainty with the war that's happening, right? The war is only going to bring more and more higher pressure on the higher side. So what you want to be mindful of is, anytime you get an area where it looks like it's going to be support, that's probably an area where you want to go long, because this is it's going to go back up to the 23.6 area. Okay, if anything, it's the first target. It's going to be the 84 area before it climbs up. So keep in mind on CL. Let's take a look at gold. So gold, remember, I've had this thing on the screen for some time now, and if you look at it, what's going to happen right here, right? We had this green candle. This was the down leg that I was talking about. Now it's trying to break this area. It's going to try to break this resistance point, the 2021 resistance point. Okay, so next leg up is the 50%. This is continuing to ride up. I know there's some mountains that are trying to go down and going into the negative. There could be a possible cross here, so we have to be very careful of those cross. So just be mindful of that area as well. But the overall thing is, there's going to be some profit taking, which has already occurred, and now gold is going to be a safe haven again, something similar to oil, where it is very much dependent on what's going on all over the world, and it just makes gold a stronger asset long term, and so that will drive the price up. So that's what you got. And then the VIX, let's take a look at the VIX. VIX is gonna show you continuous movement up, right? And why is that? It is because of what's going on with not just the war, but also because of what's going on with the earnings seasons, right? And what the Fed has been talking about. Now, again, I pointed out down means market goes up. Okay, now where is this gonna stall? It's gonna probably stall right around here, 15 and change, right? When it stalls in this area, that basically indicates, okay, you know what, this is probably the area where market is gonna go ahead and try to dive downwards, right? When that happens, the market will dive, and then the VIX will go up, and that could be temporary. And so when you're looking at the overall picture, swing trades, putting these two together, you want to be able to gauge exactly what to do, right? And then make your trades based on that, right? And right now, what I'm seeing is this is going to stall around this area and go up, and what that means is the market may come down and pull back a little bit. And while that happens, you can clearly see that this is on a downward trajectory. more upward pressure on the market, more downward pressure on the VIX. So as long as this continues downwards and there's no cross, right? So you want to be mindful of, it going downwards and then crossing, somewhere around over here, and then, just be aware that that could possibly happen. And when that does happen, the markets could turn. All right, so with that, let's talk about a couple of stocks. Let's start with DDOG, Datadog. All right, remember this stock has been hammered, right, for the past couple of weeks. It went as high as 118. I predicted this area that it was going to break when it was like in this area, and it did. And then what ended up happening was this was the high. There was some bad news. Came back up. Now it made a lower high. Now what? What are we going to see? This has become a resistance point. So 84 has become a resistance point. So now it has to break that, right? We got a green candle. We don't know if this is going to be a fake profit taking, but at the same time, look at the MACD. MACD looks like it's about to do a cross. The previous mountain wasn't as deep as the previous mountain, right? And so we're looking at upward pressure. RSI is going up. This will indicate that there's some room for it to go back to the mid-band. Okay, so that's an $85 range, $3. If you're looking at some profit taking short term, that's the area. All right, as long as this crosses, it's going to try to target that 85 area. That's what's going on with Datadog. Let's look at PLTR. PLTR, boom, boom, shot up like crazy. Look at that. News has been good. I told you guys that this is, a good buy area. This stock is on a rip. It's got some good news. It's got some, momentum with profitability. So this stock has definitely made some headwinds. Now there's going to be some profit taking, right? So if you see it come down to like the 18, 17 area, you may want to take a long. And you see the big gap right here, right? It shot up. This could easily go to 25. It's definitely going to go towards the 20s. That's the next gravitational point. So keep in mind on that. Let's look at Apple. All right, so Apple's got some earnings that came out, and then at the same time it dipped, right? It didn't do as bad as it did previously, right? But it did dip, and it wasn't the best of news for Apple. Softening sales in China, but at the same time, that's why you see this big green candle and whatnot, right? Because buyers saw the opportunity to get in. They saw it go down as low as like 71-ish. Right before the earnings, people got in, and then it, obviously took off. Obviously, you saw the stock go down $3 and whatnot. People came in and bought and got long. Okay, overall the stock is going to go back up. All of these areas kind of held in. The 200 days held it in. The lower band held it in. The lower low kind of held it in. That just kind of gives you indication that, hey, you know what, next couple of months you can definitely make money off of this stock. It may go down again by 72-ish area for another hold. I think this area is going to become the new support area, and the next target would be 79, and then it's going to be 82. Okay, so it's got to break these two areas before it goes to the next high, which is 89. All right, so but definitely this is on its way up. It may not happen immediately, but swing traders beware. Tesla. All right, so what's going on with Tesla? Okay, so we got a crossing event that's coming up right here on the MACD. So all these people that brought it down, there's going to be some room for profits here now. Okay, going long. Cross, we got the RSIs pointing upwards. Definitely this mountain I don't like, but you see the trajectory of it going slowly smaller and smaller, and Then we got this resistance points, all of these resistance. You got the midday, got the 50-day, you got the 200-day, you got the RAM, everything over here, resistance, resistance, resistance. Okay, so there's going to be some downward pressure on this stock. Watch for this cross. It may not take it as high as you want it, but it may come back down. So beware of Tesla. Next one up is Microsoft. Okay, it broke the previous high. All right, let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right, so look at this. This was the previous high. It broke this high, and then this was the next high, which it broke. And so what is it going to do? Next target is 357. Okay, and then after that, the next target is 362, and then 366. Up, up, up. There's a big expansion right here. RSI is going up. Definitely a good stock for next couple of days to go in and try to make a few bucks. So if you're looking for some at least positivity, this is a stock where you can put some money in. Will definitely go up. With that said, I think this is a good point. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you want me to take a look at any other stocks. I think one other one that I did look at was NVDA, Nvidia, and this is one of those that's gonna go up. And why? You look at all the points that I've been talking about in this past 20 minutes. 50-day, you got the RAM indicator, the mid band. All of this is now the new support. It's gone up $14, almost $15. Next leg up is going to be $462. So you're looking at another $12. Okay, that is going to look at. So if you're looking to add some money into your wallets, this is a stock. $12. You're gonna make definitely $12 out of this stock. So keep an eye on it. Love for you guys to comment and let me know how much you paid. It would be awesome to kind of gauge what information that I'm giving you and how you're taking a look at it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. PriceIsKing.com.